Welcome back to Radio Shack, here with the series finale. Yes, the series finale of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, pretty much the series finale of the 2012 Turtles. It's tough saying that, it hurts a little bit, but we knew that this wasn't intended to be the series finale. It was actually supposed to be Raphael Mutant Apocalypse. That was supposed to be the series finale, but it's whatever. But Wanted Bebop and Rocksteady, I thought, was very fun. It was very fun. It was very action-packed, and it actually proved that Bebop and Rocksteady can actually be great villains. I mean, in this episode, we pretty much see that the Shredder and Krang from the 80s dimension is coming to this dimension to take over the world, or destroy it, if you will, and they leave their Bebop and Rocksteady behind, which they put out a wanted ad in the paper for a mutant warthog and rhino, and that's where they meet our versions of Bebop and Rocksteady. And I loved how they pretty much showed up to meet Shredder and Krang, pretty much like an interview to a new job. I thought that was fun. But they also had to test their might against the Shredder, and they actually took him down pretty easily, even though Shredder claims he was holding back. But meanwhile, with the Turtles, we see that they're bored because the city is finally at peace, and they're bored. They have no idea what to do. But we finally see the 80s Turtles come to the dimension looking for the 2012 Turtles. But Bebop and Rocksteady show up and take them down pretty easily because the Turtles try to do anything they can to take down Bebop and Rocksteady that works in their dimension, but it doesn't work, so it actually comes off as silly. And I thought that was really funny, and it showed that Bebop and Rocksteady are actually pretty capable. And they bring the Turtles back to Shredder and put them in a cage until the other Turtles come and try to rescue them, and they actually get caught themselves, actually realizing that Bebop and Rocksteady have gotten a little bit better at what they're doing, and they trap them in some type of little goop until they're able to realize that the electric cage that is holding the 80s Turtles is able to electrify the goop that they're in and free them. We then come back to the lair where we see the Turtles, well, all the Turtles talking, and we actually get to see Casey and April finally meet the 80s version of the Turtles and trying to figure out what's wrong with April, why is she so young? She's too young to be a reporter. And like the interactions were what really drove the episode for me. But the 2012 Turtles decide it's time to train the 80s Turtles because they don't really use their weapons, they don't really fight that well, and it doesn't go too well. Meanwhile, Krang and Shredder are trying to power their Technodrome, and they need two things. One they need is this microchip, and they send Bebop and Rocksteady to get it out of this vault, which I forgot to mention. Bebop and Rocksteady are actually wearing the clothes of the 80s Bebop and Rocksteady, which I thought was very hilarious. And speaking of the 80s, the vault they go get the microchip out of actually says 1987 on the level of which the vault is on, which I thought was cool. And they got a lot of 80s references in that vault. They got like Freddy Krueger's claws, they got the helmet of RoboCop, I think. It was a lot of cool 80s references in there. But they're able to get the chip. But as they try to escape, they're confronted with the Turtles and Karai, and it doesn't go very well because they're soon outnumbered by the Footbots. But luckily, Shinigami is able to show up with the Elite Foot Ninja, and it levels out the playing field. And we even got to see Karai meet the 80s version of the Shredder, which I thought was very hilarious. It's just the interactions in this episode was just so funny. And you can see Karai taking down the Shredder very easily, and claiming that he didn't want to fight a girl, but whatever. But Bebop and Rocksteady are able to get away with that. And like I said, this episode is really showing how capable Bebop and Rocksteady actually are. And the 80s Turtles actually step up, showing that they can actually fight pretty well. But as we get in the final part of the episode, we find out that Krang needs one more thing to power the Technodrome, and that is Krang crystals, which they send Bebop and Rocksteady to the Earth Protection Facility, and it is guarded by none other than Slash, Leatherhead, and even Mondo Gecko, who's there obviously for comedic reasons. But it was nice seeing the four of them go toe to toe. They're able to get away with the Krang crystals, and they're getting ready to power up the Technodrome. and Bebop and Rocksteady have actually earned their place as proper villains instead of just henchmen. Meanwhile, the Donnies try to figure out a way to weaponize the party wagon and the shell razor so they can take down the Technodrome before it is operational. And this final act, this final fight was very, very action-packed. I really liked it. The Technodrome is able to open up a portal to Dimension X, and we see all these monsters come out in which they had to fight, and it seems overwhelming for the Turtles until Bebop and Rocksteady actually have a change of heart and they don't want to see the Earth destroyed. They love the Earth, and Bebop actually has to tell Rocksteady that think about what we love on Earth. He's like, think about Mama. And that's when Rocksteady just goes off, and Bebop and Rocksteady are actually the heroes of the story. And I thought that was very, very great. It was very great turn of events. I mean, we saw it coming, but it was still a great character arc for themselves. But I thought this was a great episode. It was a fun episode. Well, it really wasn't the bow that I wanted on the series finale, but I like the way it was handled. Very action-packed. I love the interaction between everybody. I love that we actually got to feature a bunch of everybody who's been a part of the series. I really can't say anything else, but I'm going to miss this show. We're going to talk about saying goodbye to the series in another video. But what did you think of the series finale of Wanted Bebop and Rocksteady? Comment below. Let's get the conversation going. And as always, if you enjoy my thoughts, make sure you like, subscribe. Last for being in the link down below. Until my next video, I will see you later.